Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Alonzo High School. To those of you who are in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, and of course, a very warm welcome to those of you who are in the 9th grade. I know there's going to be a lot of anxiety. I know there are going to be tons and tons of questions. What you're going to be receiving over the next 45 minutes to an hour will be lots of information about the nuts and bolts of how we operate here at Alonzo High School. The one thing that I can assure you of is that we are doing our best to keep you safe and healthy and well. We're expecting a high level of cooperation from each of you as members of our student body. Particularly the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, we're going to rely on you for some leadership and for setting an example. 9th graders, you'll learn where our buildings are. You'll learn where the bathrooms are. You'll learn all of that stuff very, very shortly. When you come into school on Monday, and this is really for everyone because eventually we're all going to be in school. Eventually, we don't know when or how, but we will be there eventually. So we've got a lot of things that have changed. You know, while our building looks the same, while many of our teachers are the same, because of the COVID and the restrictions placed on us by the World Health Organization and the council, the guidelines for social distancing and wearing a mask. All of these impact us dramatically here at school. This is one reason why we won't have lockers. We can't have you congregating and socializing at your locker. So that's one of the things we're telling you. Get a book bag. Bring a book bag with you. But there are lots and lots of other things that we'll be talking about, and I just want to double check with my notes so that we don't miss anything. All of the APs, from Mr. Harris down to Mr. Porter, our newest AP, some of you may or may not be aware that Mr. Burns has moved on to Alaska and doing very, very well there. And Mr. Espinoza has been promoted to another school and is doing very well there as well. So we have a new AP. His name is Mr. Porter. I know you'll get to like him and know him very, very quickly. Very nice man. So, as we always expect, we expect only the highest level of cooperation from all of our students. I mean, we expect you to come to school prepared and ready to learn. This year, because of COVID, you're going to come to school wearing a mask. You're going to keep your mask on except when you're in the cafeteria and actually eating your food. You're going to be keeping social distancing. Where we gather around the flagpole and we have 150, 200 kids there, we're not going to have that this year, or at least for the foreseeable future. So we're going to ask you to keep walking and keep moving. You're going to have to exit your classes in a different way. We're not going to go single file. We're not going to go one direction. We're just going to ask you, keep your mask on and keep moving. We may make some adjustments in the 900 building with regard to entrancing, coming and going, but we have to practice that first. So there are going to be some changes. You will not get a locker as you have in the years past. We'll not be renting them to you. As I said earlier, you need to get a book bag and carry it with you. Carry the books and supplies as well as water. Our water fountains have been closed and shut off. They'll not be reopened until after this pandemic has gone away, and we're feeling much, much safer about drinking out of the same fountain as each other. A couple of other changes. And there will be water around the campus. We have water bottles and so forth, but we're asking you, in order to make it as convenient for you as possible, make sure that you can bring a bottle of water in with you. But lots of things during the day, things like going to the men's or ladies' room, they're going to change. I mean, we need you to, once you leave your room and you have it, we don't want you to take your mask off. You got to go to the men's room, you got to go and do your business in the ladies' room and come back. We need to really make sure that we're not congregating and causing issues. And we'll be talking more about that as we go on. A couple of procedural things. Please remember, we are a Canvas school, and regardless of when we all return, we will maintain that status, as is the entire district. EDSB is no longer. It is there, and I don't know exactly why it's there, but we don't look at it. We don't use it anymore. So please don't think about EDSB because it's not going to work for you. It's not supported, by the district. So when you come into school on Monday, if you're one that's going to be doing face-to-face or eventually coming into school on Monday, you're going to get off your bus. You will still have your mask on, and you will then, on day one, you'll be told to go to the cafeteria to pick up your breakfast. There'll be food stations throughout the canyon. You can pick up food, you can eat your breakfast, you can eat it in the canyon, you can eat it in the cafeteria, you can sit basically wherever you want, as long as you clean up after yourself. We'll have lots of garbage cans out there. And of course our expectation is that you clean up after yourself as well. On Monday, the 31st, we will be going to Homeroom. Everyone will go to Homeroom. Your schedules will be available for you on Canvas. I'm not sure if it shows a homeroom. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. There'll be signs posted all around giving your last name, from A to C, go to homeroom, whatever. And that's how it'll be done, by grade level, so that you can find your name and then your room. If you don't know where your room is, there'll be plenty of adults and other students available to ask. So that'll happen for about an hour on Monday. Homeroom begins at 8:40. We don't know exactly what time our buses are going to be pulling in, but when they do, make sure that you get off and head to the cafeteria or food station to pick up some breakfast. If you don't know your bus stop, or if you don't know what time your bus stop is going to pick you up, go to our website, Alonzo website. There's a big bus with a magnifying glass. It's called the school locator. Type in your address, click on it. Type in your address and it'll tell you what is your bus stop number, and that's what we want you to remember. Not your bus number, but your bus stop number, and then also what time it will pick you up and then drop you off. So make sure you have that information. When you come to school on Monday, make sure you know which bus you're on. There may be bus changes, and we'll give them to you at the end of the day, but we want you to turn around and take a picture of your bus. Take a picture of the number, because in all likelihood, for the first couple of weeks or so, we don't expect a lot of bus changes. So know your bus. If not, write it down on your palm. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write it down somewhere where at the end of the day, when we dismiss, you can go to your bus. There'll be lots of people out there to help you, I'm sure. Okay, so lunches are going to be different. We only have 2 lunch sessions, as some of you may be aware, all during period 5. So you're not going to be able to hang around, play games, do anything. You got to get to the cafeteria, you got to get your lunch, and you got to sit down at the tables or outside or anywhere in the canyon up to the flagpole and eat your lunch. Very different process. Follow the instructions of the people in the cafeteria. We have a tendency to walk in the cafeteria and we go to the first line. That's not going to work. We've got to get you spread out between all 8 lines so that you can pick up your grab-and-go lunch and then have lunch for the rest of that time period. So we have that's different. Moving from class to class. Once again, we may have a staggered dismissal, in 900, because at times we have as many as 700 kids in that building, and we don't want everybody congregating. And we know it's a small hallway. So some of you may be turning right to exit out the back side, and some of you may be turning left to exit out the front side. We'll be talking to you about that as we get into the next week. Same thing with seating in the classroom. We don't have enough space to social distance like we're supposed to. So we need you to make sure you have your mask on and make sure that you are not close to anyone. Your teachers will be separating your desks as far apart as they can. Obviously, the wearing a mask is essential. We've made that very, very, very clear. This is a Hillsborough County rule. This is a school district rule. This is an Alonzo rule. And we're not going to be giving many exceptions. They have to be medically based and they have to be verified. So if your parents are saying to you, you don't have to wear a mask, well, your parents are partially right. You may not have to wear a mask as long as you can prove to us that there's a medical reason for doing so. So please cooperate. And if that's really a big, big, big issue, then talk to your parents about staying on e-learning, because we cannot afford to have, and we will have, about 1,400 students on campus come Monday. That's about half of our student population. 1,400 people. We will not allow our kids to walk around campus without a mask on and possibly infect another student, possibly infect a teacher, possibly infect their own family or friends. So please, a high level of cooperation is expected, and I know we'll get it from every single one of you. Some things haven't changed. Things like cell phones. You want to use them in a canyon, in the hallways, after class, between class, that's fine. In class, you don't use them unless your teacher tells you. Now, with Canvas, it is highly likely that your cell phone will be used a lot during your individual periods. So we understand that. But if your teacher says, hey, not now, that means not now. We still maintain no hats, no hoods, so don't even try. Don't wear a hat, don't wear a hood. You're going to have a mask on. That should be enough. So don't put a hat on, don't put a hood on. Boys, make sure you keep your pants up, because that's also an important rule. Moving on with schedule changes. There are very, very few that we're going to allow. It's a little difficult now because we don't have students here to actually talk to and see and hand their schedule to. So everybody's communicating via email or telephone, and that makes it a little bit difficult. Canvas lags behind about 24 hours. So if we do make a schedule change on Canvas, it doesn't roll for another 24 hours. But things like, for example, you want to change your lunch? No, not happening. You want to change your elective? No, not happening. You want to change a teacher? You had somebody last year, you happen to draw that person this year, and you say, well, I don't like Mr. Hart. I don't want him. I want Mr. Harris. No, not happening. These are things that we can't do. We're too large, and we have too many things happening because of COVID that we don't normally do. So these are things that will be explained to you. We're really looking forward to having everybody back eventually. We know there's going to be 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 kids on campus starting on Monday. And there'll be changes. Lots of kids will come in from e-learning. Some kids will go out from face-to-face. That's okay. We're prepared to deal with that. Be patient, be courteous, be respectful, always. That's the expectation here at Alonzo, and you know that. That is not a surprise to anyone, ever. We will be having fall sports. We'll be talking to you about how you can go to the games. We'll have football games, we'll have volleyball, we'll have basketball, flag football. Our sports seasons will unfold as long as everything remains pretty stable, and we hope that they do. There are clear procedures that we'll follow. If you're not feeling well, you will not have your temperature checked when you come into school, but all your teachers will. And that's just something that the district has put into place. So there are lots and lots of things that are going to change, but there are also many, many, many things that will not. You've got great teachers. You have a great staff around you. You have lots of good friends here. We're just asking you to help keep us all healthy. Please cooperate with us and make sure that you're washing your hands. Make sure that you're wearing your mask. Make sure that you're practicing social distancing. Boys and girls, or whoever, or whatever your pleasure is, you want to hold your hands with your boyfriend or girlfriend, we don't want that. We're just walk side by side. That's all. The contact like that is, while it happens, it's going to create issues for us. Unless you're kissing your brother or your sister, don't kiss. Just, don't even shake hands. Just say goodbye. And I'll see you after class, or whatever. These are very practical things that everybody needs to know. And of course, this is what school is all about. School is not like it was. I cannot emphasize that enough. COVID has changed us dramatically, and some of these changes will stay with us for a long time, some forever. Those of your parents who are old enough to remember, and many of them are, 9/11. After 9/11, things changed dramatically, and some things are still in place because we never went back to what it was on September the 10th. It'll be the same thing here. We will do our best to go back, but depending upon how COVID runs and how quickly we can get the vaccines out and how quickly we can all be safe, we really don't know. So be patient. Be a raven. Be a good raven. Remember, our theme this year is engaging ravens. You are a raven now, all of you. And we're going to engage you, we're going to push you, we're going to challenge you, we're going to teach you, and you're going to be better people for having come to Alonzo than you were before. Okay, as always, I'm very, very happy to be your principal, very proud to be here. We do what's right for our kids all the time, and we're hoping that we get that high level of cooperation back again as we move through the beginning parts of this year. There'll be tons of questions. We'll answer as many as we can. Stop me in the hallway. Let me know. Stop any administrator. Stop any teacher. But, as always, enjoy school. Have fun. Learn. And go Ravens. Thank you. Have a great morning.